want to share with you something I spend a lot of time. I want to share my thoughts with you and my hope that we should all strive for greater awareness and why. Everything you have ever done, every choice, every reaction, everything you regret started with a feeling, not a thought. A feeling. Before you could reason, before you could speak, you could feel pain, warmth, hunger, fear. That feeling sent a signal. Something is wrong, fix it, or something is right, chase it. That signal is what drives all of us. We call that balance. Your body, your mind, your spirit constantly asking, am I okay? And when the answer is no, you move, you act, you survive. And that's what we all are doing. And feelings gauge two things. Pleasure leads to reward, reward creates a desire. You desire food, warmth, connection, love, and anything that ever felt good. Pain leads to penalty. Penalty creates fear. Fear makes you avoid. You avoid threats, rejection, loss, and anything that has ever hurt you, or that you are taught will hurt you. To seek and avoid, that is the engine. And what does survival require? Awareness. You cannot survive what you cannot see coming. You have to know where you are, what is around you, what threatens you, what helps you. Awareness starts with feeling and grows through questioning, asking why, looking inward, looking outward, and not taking the first answer. Perception is the lens you see through. Knowing yourself is one side, reading the world around you is the other. Both sharpen your judgment. When you are missing knowledge, your view is incomplete, and that gap is where prejudice grows from not knowing enough. Resources. You cannot stay alive without them. Food, shelter, tools. The form changes, but the need does not. When resources run low, conflict follows. Not because people are cruel, because survival doesn't take no for an answer. Protection. Shelter gets you to safety. The ability to defend yourself and what you have gets you to security. And together that is protection. The wall between you and what wants to take what you need. Self-worth. If you do not believe your life is worth something, if you do not feel like you matter, you stop fighting to keep it. Self-worth is not ego, it is the will to live. Adaptation. The world does not sit still. What kept you alive yesterday, it might not work today. The ones who made it were not always the strongest. They were the ones who could change. Changing forces you to learn. Learning changes how you act, and doing it long enough, it turns into wisdom and skill. And we weren't built to do it alone. So we extend ourselves and we start caring about other people closest to us, like they're part of us because they are. And that bond grows into family, and family grows into community, and community multiplies what we could do alone. But community runs on trust, not blind faith. The assumption that people around you are not going to hurt you unless they show you otherwise. That is the starting point. Law only exists because some people broke that trust in ways nobody saw coming. Every law ever written came after something happened that no one thought they had to prevent. And inside community, the pull to contribute, to be useful, to matter, it feels like generosity. When you are valuable to your community, you become necessary. And necessary means protected, because the group looks out for what it cannot afford to lose. And so we learn and we compete and we compare ourselves to others, not to be petty, but to measure, where am I? Where could I be? And that comparison is growth. But where does it go wrong? Every destructive things humans do is part of survival traits that have been corroded. Greed is desire with no off switch. Resources reduced leads to scarcity, and in abundance they raise the requirement to maintain our standard of norm, of homeostasis. Without the self-awareness to catch it, the seeking never stops, not because the person is evil, but because nothing ever told them enough is enough. Prejudice is judgment without the full picture. Fear of a perceived threat, real or not, runs through the same wiring as fear of an actual one. It is judging without the knowledge to make an educated judgment. And it is also passed on to us by our parents and our community in hopes that it will help us survive. Arrogance is pride without wisdom. Taking pride in what you are good at is natural. Being better at something increases your odds of survival, and we are wired to know it. But wisdom reminds you that someone can always be better, and when pride runs without that reminder, arrogance moves in. And that's really what superiority is. Striving to be whether it's bloodline, family, skill, strength, speed, intelligence. I am better than others. Therefore, I am an asset and my community needs me. Anger is your self-worth defending itself when you are disrespected or somebody you love is disrespected, dismissed, ignored, or proven wrong. Your survival signal fires and your sense of who you are feels under attack, and anger is that response. And conflict is what happens when scarcity and fear run into each other with no trust to slow it down. Self-awareness is what changes everything. Not how smart you are, not willpower, just knowing yourself, what you feel, why you feel it, what is pushing you to do, and whether that actually fits what is in front of you right now. And sadness helps to build empathy. Sadness is caused by loss of things or people, and it's easier to recognize pain in someone else if you have felt it. Sadness builds empathy. Everyone who has been through something hard and comes out on the other side knows what it looks like in others, and that is one of the pillars of community. And calm is not the absence of feeling, it is being able to come back to center. Happiness is a moment, anger is a moment, sadness is a moment, or a temporary span of time, but content can last forever. And we are content when we have met our homeostasis, when we continue to maintain what our standard of norm is. And abundance only increases the requirements in order to maintain our standard of norm. And wisdom is not about age, it is the honest collection of what you have lived through or what has been passed down by the experience of others, what worked and what did not. And when wisdom feeds into awareness, it breaks cycles. People with fear and no community, letting avoidance turn it into us versus them. The bad we do is not proof that people are rotten at the core. It is proof that survival instincts without awareness, without wisdom, without community and trust around them become destructive. And the question is not why do people do terrible things? It is because they are surviving the only way they know how, and with what they have. The real question is what we build in ourselves, in each other, in our systems that gives people more to work with. That starts here with understanding why.